All right. This is me learning, self-training, practicing. One of the things that I was told and advised by my mentors, learn how to do Zoom, learn how to do Zoom well. So I got, a Zoom account. Um, I got the ability to Zoom, you know, Facebook Live, Zoom to YouTube. So currently and also I'm recording it on my laptop. So this is uh, me learning, practicing doing Zoom. And so one of the things I am going to go through is that recently I've made a commitment. Um, and this is something that I would definitely teach and impress upon my children is I've experienced the biggest change in my life when I made a commitment, when I made a choice and then went all in on it and decided, okay, this is the route that I'm going to go and commit to that. So this what I've decided is where am I going to be by doing what over the next 10 years? What am I going to commit to? And that I have a goal over the next 10 years to become a senior national sales director in American Financial Services and using that position with a Series 65 license, securities license, which is also known as a registered investment advisor license. Um, and um, a registered investment advisor license, RIA, which allows me to counsel people on investments and manage portfolios of investment. That's what a Series 65 license. Of course, to get there in primary, I will also have attained a Series 6, which is variable annuities, a Series 63, which is mutual funds, a 26, which is a principal, meaning I can manage and override other people with the same security licenses. I can override and train them. I can override the incomes that they produce, which means I can receive income from those people that I've trained with their securities license. That's what a 20 Series 26 license is. And then, of course, the Series 65 registered investment advisor license. Now, this is important because it is going to take a commitment. It's going to take being all the way in. What I've always wanted to be is an investment banker. Okay, that's what, so I wanted to be in financial services. I wanted to buy and sell businesses, help build businesses, help fund and finance businesses, own businesses. Um, I believe I have a fairly modest goal of what I want. At the minimum, what I want is $1 million a year in income. I mean, I earn $1 million in income. That is my goal. I say that to myself, that to in my head, and I say it and I feel it because what I have deep down inside in my conscious and subconscious mind and truly believe that's where my life is going. That's where my life has taken me based upon what I believe, what I have in my head, what I own in spirit. So I say to myself, I earn $1 million a year. And when I said that, I was talking to a coworker and I had to think, I said, okay, now $83,333.33 a month, which is $1 million a year. Um, I don't have any money problems. That level of income every month, I can't spend. I would personally have to expand my life because living in Jackson, earning $1 million a year, I can live in the finest house. Um, uh, seriously, I mean, I could overdo We all know that. We know it's possible to overspend. But given my tastes and lifestyle, that's more money than what I can. I have no money problem. There's no money problem that I have. The $83,333.33 a month will not solve nothing. I'm going to drive what I want to drive, okay, and be able to afford it. And really, truly, honestly, that level of income, I'm paying cash for what I want to drive, for what I really want to drive, which is a Porsche Panamera, the electric. Um, it's a about a $130,000 car. I pay cash for it. you know, I'm making $1 million a year. I can go and pay cash for it. It's $1 million a year plus. Um, you know, that's that lifestyle. A 5-bedroom house, 5-bedroom, 4.5 bath house. With a home theater and exercise. A gym, a home gym, with a lap pool, endless lap pool, outdoor jacuzzi tub, huge jacuzzi tub, with an outdoor kitchen, um, pot filler over my, Viking gas stove, um, real wood floors in the living room, marble tile, marble countertops in the kitchen, plush carpeting in the bedrooms, full complete baths, large closets, walk-in closets, um, full pantry. I'm telling you, I know, what kind of house I want to have and leave my children. My chosen lifestyle includes a large truck, a small truck, a sports sedan, which I just said, the Porsche Panamera, the electric Panamera, all electric, and I was a sports car, which for me is a Porsche 911 Turbo. That's my chosen, super sports car. That would for me complete, my lifestyle. Paying for my young children's college education, paying for it, giving them, sending them to college with a check, and they have no student loan debt. Um, Vacations with my wife, paid by the company, paid by Primerica. Sending, my family members, my sisters on vacations, uh, helping them pay off their mortgages, getting them out of debt. My sisters, that's, my list. Helping my mother-in-law out. Her house is already paid for. Maybe getting her a new car, maybe hiring someone to help drive her around. She still likes to go to the boat. Ain't giving them money for the boat. So I don't live together. But I can hire somebody to drive to the boat. And she don't have to worry about no bill. So if she want to blow her money on the boat, she can blow her money in the boat. Her bill's gonna be paid. You Send my father-in-law and my father will take him with me on a deep sea fishing excursion, along with my oldest son Brandon. Um, you know, tell Mark to come. My iPad was up. That's the lifestyle. Now, the what it looks like in terms of what I'd be doing. I know that chosen lifestyle for me. I mean, that's something I would love. Being a CNS associate director means I have at least 10 RVPs, regional vice presidents, that I'm working with, that I train, 10 RVPs. And it's definitely much more than just selling insurance, selling life insurance. Primerica is, I'm telling you, within 5 years, America is going to dominate the Main Street consumer insurance market. The five pointer, that is the traditional market of Allstate, State Farm, and Primerica, which is people who are married, um, two incomes, husband and wife both work, children um, between the ages of 25 and 55. Um, and yeah, have children. Yeah, those 5 points. That is 5 million. Married or employed, uh, owning a home to an age 25 to 55 and have children. 5 points. That market, Primerica is going to dominate um, solely. Primerica recently bought the controlling interest in eTeleQuote that does the Medicare Advantage and Mid-Sup insurance. So all the things they've now with through Secure Financial, they do also commercial insurance, which is like when a guy who's a landscaper every season to get a contract to cut grass, commercially, let's say to do the grass at you know, if you want to get a contract to cut grass for uh, Horn CPA Group, they're going to require him to have liability insurance in case a rock is thrown up by the zero turn and hit someone's car windshield. They got liability insurance to fix that windshield, and if someone was in the car and put their eye out, they have liability insurance to cover that. Primerica, through a referral source, does that also. So the only thing Primerica has to do now is get back with uh, Health Sherpa, because to do the Mississippi, to do the Medicare Advantage, you got to have a health, and accident license, which I do have. I have all my insurance license. I got all of them. If it's insurance, I'm licensed for it. So once Primerica gets back with Health Sherpa and they would refer people for their, Obamacare health insurance and other health plans, that's a wrap. They do everything, which is more than what State Farm and Allstate agents do. Then on top of that, there's an opportunity. Okay. So that's where the company itself is positioned to be. How does that fit with my golden dream of being an investment banker? It's the Series 65 license. Right now, there are SNSD, senior national sales directors, national sales directors, senior vice presidents, and regional vice presidents, senior regional vice presidents and regional vice presidents, who uh, they in their hierarchy they manage hundreds of millions of dollars in assets under management. Uh, some even have $1 billion in asset management, throughout their whole entire hierarchy. Making them as large, if not larger, than any Edward Jones or Charles Schwab, um, associate, or whatever the title is for someone if you had a franchise with Edward Jones, okay, which is, like retailing, you know, investment advisor, which I'm sure what they're a Series 65 license. So I'm sure that's what they do, is they have a Series 65 license and probably have insurance licenses as well. All state agents have to get the security license in 6 and 63. I don't know. I don't think they have to get the 65. I think they have to get the 6 and 63. I believe the State Farm agents probably do too. They just cry. But I know if you're an Allstate agent, you have to. They're not going to be able to compete with America. They're just not. They're going to continue to see their market share dwindle. Times change. It is the direct connection still. What happened with Primerica during the pandemic was the business increased because doing business online, Zoom became a boon to Primerica, being able to set appointments to do appointments through Zoom, through this media that I'm using right now. So For me, being able to build um, a business based upon having a large downline, having 10 regional vice presidents, and more. Obviously, we don't have to stop at 10. Um, as opposed to the way traditional investment bankers are, is that you really have to find extraordinarily wealthy accredited investors um, and get a portfolio together for 10, 20, 100 clients. Um, that there was a movie with Chris Rock entitled "I Think I Love My Wife," um, where he's because he ends up kind of going through a midlife crisis and he meets an old college friend girl, um, and almost gets into an affair with the woman. And so his life kind of gets hectic, and it has an effect on his job. His boss pulls him in one day, and his boss, the pocket, pulls out a quarter, and he says, "For you here and he worked like at a advisory firm, financial advisory firm, and his boss pulls out a quarter and lays it on the conference table, a big, huge conference table, and he says, "This quarter represents the assets you manage, your clients, your book of business. You got, I think, let's say he had $50 million in assets under management that he handled." He said, "This table represents the company. Here's this quarter. This is you. This quarter is you. This conference table is the whole company. Um, you know, um, you can lose a whole lot of money, chasing women, but you'll never lose women chasing money." Okay. You get the point. Uh, those advisory companies, they will, show you the door if you're not able to produce X amount of business, to attract X number of clients with, deep pockets to bring on a regular basis. You'll get shown the door. I mean, and it happens all the time. You may have a very short career out there, and so that was the downside. The downside of America really is none. It's just the work doing the work. There's never going to be a day that someone's going to come to me and say, "Hey, you're not working hard enough. You got to let you go." That'll never happen. Only person that can do that would be me. That's kind of contract. Two, at 300,000, once I earn $300,000 annually in a 12-month period, I have a right to own everything that I produced. See, in that example with Chris Rock, where he worked for that particular advisory firm, if he decided to leave, that quarter that represent his book of business that he produced, the clients that he attracted, the clients that he went out and called, and, "Hey, how you doing? I'd like to sit down and talk with you." And he networked and met people and phone called and asked for referrals, went and did seminars, and people came and listened and said, "This guy sounds smart. I think I'll invest with him." When he decides to go out on his own, which is what he'll have to do, because let's say he produces, a much bigger, instead of a quarter size, he produces, a size of a plate, much larger. That he produces, $500 million in assets under management, which would be enough to where if he had that book of business himself, uh, it would generate enough, residual income, you know, as a manager, as a portfolio manager, to pay him a very nice lifestyle. $500 million in assets under management would pay you very well. Managing that amount of clients' money. But to do that, and all those other from Edward Jones, Charles Schwab, you name it, Smith Barney, Merrill Lynch, you're not leaving with that book of business. It's not yours. I mean, you don't own it. And I mean that from the standpoint, let's say you retire and you just say, "Hey, look, I'm not leaving, you all, but I'm retired. I'm no longer going to do the business." If those companies, they keep that book of business, that residual, that trail that comes from that $500 million of assets under management, that stays with the company. And primarily stays with you. You can retire and you can even hire another Series 65 licensed person to just manage your book of business. You retire and pay someone to manage it for you and get your income and leave it to your children. No one else does that. No one else does that. No one else offers that opportunity. Um, I'm doing this video speaking, so I know I'm very casual dressed, but I'm speaking this, and I'll do another one more formal because I see that there's a market out there recruiting agents who are already licensed. There's a downfall to that, and that most people are licensed. Kind of, they've already been trained one way; they've not been trained the Primerica way. But knowing that difficulty, then I know that the training has to include a process where these agents who've been licensed and worked at other companies um, over time are sold out to the Primerica way, buy term and invest the difference, which focus on investing. Because I have to train the people out of life insurance and into recruiting and investing as the way of their future, how to build a solid future in Primerica. The upside to going after a market of already licensed agents is that they don't have to pay anything. They don't pay a dime. All they gotta do is fill out the paperwork. They pay nothing. Okay, let me say that one more time. There's probably about 500,000, if not 1.5 million, people in America that have an insurance license. It costs, I think the most expensive state to get them the license in might be like California, New York, somewhere like $500-800. Georgia, I think it's like around $300-400. So I could literally buy my way an insurance license into all 50 states. Okay. Met a guy yesterday, he's licensed in 12. I'm licensed in 5. And so that market is huge to that someone who listens and looks at the Primerica opportunity, who already has a life license, just start with a life license, let alone life, health, accident, auto, and home. They pay nothing to walk through the door in Primerica. They come in with a license. Now, what they have to do is get trained in the Primerica way. Buy-term investor difference, recruiting and investing. Okay. Two, um, I've always been talked about having a small business investment corporation. And let me be clear, but people in Primerica do more than just Primerica. Because honestly, if you're earning, and this is what happened, Primerica now has over 100, they probably on the way, between now and next year, they're probably about 150 national sales directors who do $1 million plus a year in Primerica. That number is going to continue to exponentially grow faster and faster. Millionaires in Primerica. And so if you're doing they have the same question and issue that I talked about, which is, what to do with $83,333.33 a month. What you got invested. Okay, invested where? Because you're going to max out an IRA. Okay, really quickly off $83,000 a month. So you're going to be buying real estate. You're going to be buying portfolios of other types of investments. You're going to be investing in other businesses. You're going to be investing in hotels. Because now that income level, what happens is you are an accredited investor. You're an accredited investor both because of your income level, because you're earning $1 million a year. Okay. And because of your education. So you have both. You can be like me as a licensed attorney. My status as a licensed attorney makes me an accredited investor. I can invest because of my education and because of my experience, my licenses, and what I do in Primerica currently. So Primerica itself is growing agents who have to invest in others because you got to. You can't leave that money in a bank account. You already mean that's the Primerica principle is you don't leave it sitting in a checking account. Really, okay, you can leave $1 million cash in a checking account. Yeah, nah, not gonna happen. Let me see something here. And then let me practice share my screen. All right, what's going on here? Da, 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 da. Okay, there's that screen. Go here. All right, go here. And Investopedia. Investopedia. Credit. All right, definition of an accredited investor. Okay, what is an accredited investor? An accredited investor is an individual or a business entity that is allowed to trade securities that may not be registered with financial authorities. They are entitled to this privileged access by satisfying at least one requirement regarding their income, their net worth, asset size, governance status, or professional experience. Okay. In the United States, the term accredited investor is used by the Securities and Exchange Commission under Regulation D to refer to investors who are financially sophisticated and have a reduced need for the protection provided by regulatory disclosure filing. In other words, they can invest $1 million and they lost every dime of it. They're not going to lose their house. They're not going to be in financial ruin. Accredited investors include natural high net worth individuals, HNWI, banks, insurance companies, brokers, and trusts. Sellers of unregistered securities are only allowed to sell to accredited investors who are deemed financially sophisticated enough to bear the risks. Accredited investors are allowed to buy and invest in unregistered securities as long as they satisfy one or more requirements regarding income, net worth, asset size, governance status, or professional experience. Unregistered securities are considered inherently more risky because they lack the normal disclosures that come with SEC registration. Okay. This is, the area in where in creating the small business investment corporation, which by its founding and structure, the way it's put together by the SBA, Small Business Administration, is it attracts accredited investors because these will be unregistered to invest in businesses in which have not registered with the Securities Exchange Commission. And you match those assets, funds from accredited investors with funding from the government. So literally means someone has a business, the government will finance that business with matching dollars, but the person doesn't have the matching dollars either. They run a business. They don't have huge amounts of assets. Also, liquid to match with the government's funding and financing. Well, a small business investment corporation looks out for it and seeks accredited investors to invest in the business. There you go. That was always, my goal and dream was to do that. What being a senior national sales director will allow me to do is attract, find other RVPs who would also be accredited investors. So that I have and the goal, what I've always learned in life, in business, in economics, there you go, is the goal is to create a system that feeds itself. In other words, you want a system of farming where if you water the field, if you draw water from the groundwater, you pump it up and you water the crops, the water also runs back down. And sometimes you see a pond, sometimes you see that the land is kind of sloped to where there's a pond. So at least the water goes back to a pond. But if you wanted to go back down into the soil, back to the groundwater from which it came in the first place. In between, you have a crop that's growing and you sell the crop. And you make money off the crop that you water, and the water is a continuous cycle. So there's a continuous cycle. And then you take whatever of the crop you don't sell, you feed your hogs, chickens, cows. With that, you make fertilizer, you put it back into the ground. You get the picture. So you set up a system where it feeds off the other and it continues to grow. So that if I'm continuously building businesses, the businesses continue to become clients of my RVPs. So I have a system that my RVPs will always have more and more clients to handle. Because the Small Business Investment Corporation, just adding the Small Business Investment Corporation to the picture means I'm always growing more and more clients for my RVP. So I'm always creating for them new markets. And as they learn this system, they do the same thing and they train more RVPs. And you see how that continues to grow and grow and grow exponentially over time. So where my 10 RVPs each have 10 RVPs that they've created, they've created a system in Primerica. Primerica is the only place that has that. The only place that has it. That's the only. And there's no way any other financial services company will be able to compete with that. See, there's going to be a breaking point that Primerica breaks through. Let me tell you, it's what happened with Robinhood. Robinhood allowed people to buy stocks for free. There was no charge, no brokerage fee. Okay. All right. GameStop, the GameStop issue. It was obviously for very small investors. People were rounding up $5 a month even to put into their Robinhood account and buy stocks. They buy a fractional share of stock for free with no charge. Okay. Let alone, I'm sure that some people weren't getting Robinhood account apps on their phone to put $10,000 to $20,000 a month into investments. No, people were putting in, little excess change money. You got you get a debit card with your Robinhood account. Okay, all right. Well, GameStop comes along, and so some people get mad, and they're like, hey, um, they didn't like the way GameStop was being picked on by the what you call it, the high risk investors who kind of bet against the market. Okay, so they picked GameStop to bet against, and they shorted GameStop. Well, I think it was Elon Musk or somebody. Kind of didn't like the little guys getting picked on. Wasn't fair that GameStop is a small company. It's a family-owned business or something. And so they came back. What they did was they started buying huge amounts of the stock, and the price of the stock went up. But they were doing it through Robinhood, where you could buy the stock without any brokerage fees. Okay. So Robinhood, for only so long could Robinhood exist out there not charging fees to buy stock. I mean, at some point, it's good when all your customers are rounding up $5 and $20, $100 a month, to go into their account to buy. A lot of people are buying cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and the latest, marijuana stocks, CBD, stocks. They're investing in that area. That was cool. That was fine. But Eventually, it always was going to happen. I mean, you're allowing people to buy stocks for no fee. So at some point, the big guys are going to go who are buying hundreds of millions of dollars worth of stock. They're going to step in and say, "Yeah, I'm going to put 100 million on GameStop." Robinhood's like, "Okay, there's no fee. We're not going to charge you to move to make that move to put that execute that order. Yeah, $100 million. Okay." Eventually, that was going to happen. At one point in time, that was going to happen. It was. You're doing it for free. Who is going to sit up and go, "Oh, I want to be at Merrill Lynch, where I can't own anything ever, no matter how much I produce. I want to be at Charles Schwab. I want to be at Edward Jones." Okay. Hedge fund. That's what I meant to say. Hedge fund. The hedge fund investors were down shorting GameStop. How long, and then Primerica's over here let you get the same registered investment advisor Series 65 license, and you can override as many people as you want to. And you can't do that at Merrill Lynch, Charles Schwab, Edward Jones. How long? Before everyone, there's a big stampede. And since you are the license, wait a minute and understand this. And since you are the license, you're going to pay nothing to join Primerica. How long before Primerica just blows up totally? Because Primerica, what we usually do is we just recruit, across the kitchen table, husbands and wives. At some point, it all these people, thousands of these people at these firms are going to go, wait a minute, say what, Peter? Yeah, because I want to be the one to go after that market. And I want them to go, let me get this right, Peter. At $300,000, I own my book of business. Okay. Let me see, can I find what that owns? Go. All right. It's kind of slow out. So when I'm in Zoom and recording, laptop gets a little bit slow. Obviously. Okay. But here we go. Get a paper doesn't pull up paper. All right, ownership qualifications in American. So this is to all the Edward Jones, Merrill Lynch, Charles Schwab, registered investment advisors who also have insurance licenses in America, and all the Allstate agents out there. Okay, who have 6 and 63 licenses. I am recruiting you right now, and I know that your brand, you're thinking, well, but I'm with Allstate. I'm not for America. Y'all recruit agents across the kitchen table. You go through 100 people who, if I sit down and talk with and recruit and get 100 people to sign an IBA, that 100, only 10 are going to actually even finish the class and get a license. They're looking. Whereas with Allstate, what it costs to become an Allstate agent, and what it takes to be one, everyone is going to complete. To get the license is the least problem. It's being able to hang through financially for 5 years while you build a business up and become profitable is the problem with Allstate State Farm. Okay, so what I'm offering is much better. Okay, so the ownership level in Primerica, all right, You earn $300,000, mean you earn $300,000 in a rolling 12-month period. In a rolling 12-month period, you earned $300,000. Okay. It doesn't matter how quickly you earn it. You don't have to be at Primerica any particular time. If you earn $300,000 in 11 months, you can own your business. Okay. Meaning if you have enough clientele who will move with you to where you came in and all those clients moved with you under me. All right. And you end up making $300,000 in 3 months, you own your business. No tenure requirement. Now you must have, now it does, look at say, must be above $100,000 in 12-month cash flow in order to exercise the ownership level to maintain it. Minimum requires to maintain the ownership level. I'm sorry, not to get it, but the minimum requirements to maintain the ownership level is be earning $100,000 in 12 months cash. Now, what can you do? What are the ownership benefits? Glad you asked. You can sell it, transfer it, or sign a DVP, direct, to run it. You can find another RVP, say, look, man, I'm about to die, man. Just, I'm gonna sign you to run it for, to manage this book of business that I have so that I still get my money. I'm still get paid. I'm gonna still get my money every month. People who are married, one spouse dies, all the other spouse who's not licensed has to do is get licensed, and they get all their spouses' income. Your code number, mine is WMP50, William Mary Paul 50. Okay. That number does not roll to the upline. That does not go anywhere. It stays with whoever I sell it to, whoever I transfer it to, or whoever I sign it to. Meaning me, I control it. No one else offers that. How long will it be before all the other companies, people, agents, resident investment advisors go, wait a minute, what am I doing over here? I need to be over there. I need to be in Primerica. Okay. So, there it is. That is where I'm putting my egg. That's the basket I'm putting my egg. That's what I'm going. All right, everybody. Great. Let me see. Let me get out of this. I'm gonna stop the share. Stop sharing. And this went straight to YouTube. This is not on Facebook. So I'm gonna end here. And I did record it. I'm gonna end. This, of course, is just me. Okay, just me. Okay. All right. And end.